Yes, it's John G. Sutton here, Tales from the Jails. I'm going to be discussing a little bit about HMP Whitemoor, which is in Cambridgeshire. This is a prison that's been, an inspection done in December. It's been published today, finding that HMP Whitemoor is a dirty, rat-infested, filthy pile. Which is odd, really, because it was only opened in, I think it was 1991 or something like that. It's not been open that long, but apparently it's deteriorated to the point where it's considered to be virtually unfit for human habitation, which is pretty well true of a lot of the old jails, but this is a fairly new jail and it's been allowed to deteriorate. The HM Inspectorate of Prisons decided that it was down to the staff who were not exactly following a kind of regime that would enable the place to maintain a reasonable level of cleanliness. My experience of being in the prisons is that it's up to the inmates. I mean, if the inmates are not maintaining the prison themselves, it's where they live, you know. It may only be a temporary thing, but that's where they live for the time being. So they've got to be given a little bit of pride about them, about their occupation of these cells, and keep them clean, because otherwise, you know, you're going to get infections. And apparently Whitemoor was found that there was human waste all over the place. There was blood smears on the cell walls, and it was generally considered totally unacceptable. And what do you do? I mean, the staff weren't doing it, apparently, and they also have been neglecting the key worker scheme, which is when a prison officer is allocated certain inmates to, motivate them to get themselves ready for release. I mean, obviously, what HMP Whitemoor is dealing with mainly with long-term prisoners. It's a high-security prison. And it has had numerous problems over the years, one of the problems being radicalisation. It seems that the staff are of the opinion that a number of members of the inmate population are being radicalised. People who are of a certain religious group are being engineered by other convicted people who have been convicted of terrorist offences, and they are attempting to recruit other inmates into that regime. There was an incident in 2020, I believe it was, where a number of inmates, I think it was 2 inmates, put on fake exploding vests and attacked a number of staff, stabbing them and generally causing mayhem. The police were called into that, and I think it was Zamani who was the inmate behind it all, who was certainly one of the inmates behind it. And he subsequently was injured. Somebody injured him. That's a shame, isn't it? I mean, just because you're stabbing prison staff, you get injured. What next? Yeah, whatever next. So HMP Whitemoor, it's in Cambridgeshire, yeah? So if you're in Cambridgeshire, just pop in and say hi. Just come to say hello to all your rats. You see, I've been down the landings, and the dirtiest jail I've ever personally seen, was HMP Walton, which is now HMP Liverpool, yeah? The inmates used to get the trays, and when they'd finished their lunch, they had the meal, and they just sling them down on the landings, and its food would splatter all over the place. So and the inmates and the staff were walking through this food, and there's very little wonder that it was infested with rats. And practically that's what they're saying is happening in HMP Whitemoor now. So things have not improved. The whole system is just falling apart. I honestly believe, that there's going to have to be some radical change in the way that we deal with offenders, because at the moment it's just spiralling out of control downhill. They can't recruit staff. I mean, a reasonable person, I consider myself to be a reasonable person. If you're going for the job, you don't have a national application form. You go and knock on the gate or something like that. Or you go to the job centre. Oh yeah, you can get a job like that. Just go in and be a jailer. Go sent to your local jail. So they're recruited on a local basis, not on a national basis. And you've seen, I've gone on about this before, you've seen their recruitment videos. They have some young lady saying, anybody can be a prison officer. Well, if anybody can be a prison officer, that's what they're getting. Anybody, yeah? And anybody, and they're not paying any attention to what they should be doing, which is definitely disgraceful. So anyway, HMP Whitemoor, there you have it. It's an utter disgrace to the system. Long Lartin got a very negative mention as well. That's also considered to be a filthy dump. I mean, they're all past the sell-by dates, aren't they? I mean, but it's a shame about Whitemoor because it's just been allowed to deteriorate. Anyway, it's now time for... Yes, you've got it, folks. Run for the hills. Yep. I can see them up there. Billy Goat Gruff dancing round the Yorkshire moors. On Ilkley Moor Bartat, on Ilkley Moor Bartat, on Ilkley Moor Bartat. I bet you like that, didn't you, Larry? Anyway, I'm going to sing to you now. You've asked for this. If you're still around now after the third ding, then you've definitely done. Ding 1, stand by. Ding 2, it's getting late. Ding 3, here we go. This is Wanted Man by Johnny Cash. And I'm going to be the kind of wanted man that nobody wants when I finish this. Here we go. Wanted man in California, wanted man in Buffalo, wanted man in Kansas City, wanted man in Hi-Ho, wanted man in Mississippi, wanted man in Old Cheyenne. Wherever you look tonight, you might see this wanted man. I might be in Colorado or Georgia by the sea, working for some man who may not know at all who I might be. If you ever see me coming, and if you know who I am, don't you breathe it to nobody, because you know I'm on the lam. Wanted man by Lucy Watson, wanted man by Jenny Brown, wanted man by Nellie Johnson, wanted man in the next town. I've had all that I wanted of a lot of things I've had, and a lot more wasn't I needed. Some things that turned out bad. I got sidetracked in El Paso, stopped to get myself a map, went the wrong way in Juarez with one eater on my lap, went to sleep in Steveport, woke up in Abilene, wondering why the hell I'm wanted in some town halfway between. Wanted man in Albuquerque, wanted man in Syracuse, wanted man in Tallahassee, wanted man in Baton Rouge. There's somebody set to grab me anywhere that I might be, and wherever you might look tonight, you might get a glimpse of me. There you go. Johnny Cash version of Wanted Man, completely reduced to rubble by John G. Sutton. Tales from the Jails, folks.